I'm a bit late. I'm sorry. But I want to talk a little bit about... no. I'm sick. I was in another country. All this information came out. And it sucks because I really wanted to talk about it earlier. Let's talk about it now, okay? I'm back. A whole bunch of people saw my other video, especially the Jane Doe one, which I thought was way worse than my Soldier 11 one. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, more people are watching it. I appreciate it a lot. Let's talk about winners of version 1.1 as of right now, and possibly what's going to happen in the future. So, for right now, we have a new weapon coming out very soon. The Camellia, I'm pretty sure is what it's called. This thing just gives you free damage, alright? 4-star, it's free. You get up to, I'm pretty sure, 16% attack, as well as 30% bonus damage on your skill, as well as your ult. Which is crazy to think about, because the best thing we have right now for free to play is the Starlight Engine, which is basically just the flute from Genshin. So, it's a pretty bad weapon, but what can you do? You have to use it. But really, this is a massive dub for every single DPS character that is in the game right now, and will come out in the future, because man, that is a lot of free damage that you just get. There's really no downsides besides people who need crit value, right? It makes sense because this thing only gives you attack as well as bonus damage. No crit rate, no crit damage. It's alright, it's a free weapon. But this game is very forgiving when it comes to its artifacts, so you shouldn't worry too much about getting your crit value. Just keep rolling. 99% of gamblers quit before they hit big. Just like, look at this piece right here. I was going to post this earlier, but then I was like, I'll save it for this video. That is crazy. 4 rolls into crit damage. I was actually losing my mind when I rolled this. But that doesn't really matter. The rest of the version will contain the version 1.1 story. Hooray! As well as Jane Doe and Seth. Thank God, I can finally have more characters on my account. I just want to roll! I am guaranteed a 5-star. I'm on 50-50, but it's going to be rough because I think I'm going to lose this time. I got pretty early Zhuan, so it might be a bit rough, but I'll see. No, I did not play the story yet. It looks pretty cool because they have Jane Doe in it, and honestly, that's all I need to know. Other things that happened were 2 voice actor changes for the English dub. It's actually quite sad how Lucy was gutted as well as Sokaku. I don't understand what the problem was because I thought these 2 characters were really good. But if you don't appear in the YouTube short on the YouTube channel, you are going to get executed, possibly, until you appear in the story, I'm pretty sure. But it is what it is. I prefer both of their older voice actors, but what can I do now, honestly? And then before I get into the very interesting information considering 2 future characters, I wanted to give a current update on the teams. I have built Anbi for the Zhu Yuan team instead of having Sokaku on it to take up 20 million years when I'm doing my chain attacks. You should also use audio for this game because if you can hear the flash for an attack, you can actually dodge it or parry it very easily. That's the fun fact. But one other thing you should know is that I cleared all the stable node with S ranks, and that the background footage here is me trying to go through the disputed node, which is really fun. The health pools are pretty big, so the gameplay is a bit slow at times, and I am dodging a lot with Anbi and Kaleda. But it is what it is, because man, this mode is so good. Not having to worry about time limits, but rather focusing on dodging and actually getting your strings out properly is really solid. I honestly commend them for making this mode instead of just keeping it to the unstable node, which I will attempt later on, but for right now, I was focusing on Disputed, and we will finish that when we get to it. But now it is time to talk about the good stuff, and the good stuff meaning the future characters, because we got 2 announcements, and it is really cool. We got Burnice, and then we also got Shiza. I swear when you open the comments on any of the posts, you just see the JoJo's skin. It's pretty good. So let's talk about Shiza, alright? We got 2 Defender characters coming out. One was I was made aware recently that Seth is going to be an anomaly-focused one, while Shiza is going to be an actual defender unit. And by actual defender, I mean has a unique shielding mechanic that isn't just the overshield. We actually have an auto-counter system, as well as a damage absorption meter, which is really dope. And the other biggest thing we should know is that this character is finally another character in Sons of Caledon, so we can get a faction bonus for Lucy. Thank goodness, we are so back. But one other thing you should know is that this character is going to work decently well with Soldier 11, but I do think that the current composition right now of Soldier 11, Kaleda, and Lucy is kind of hard to top, since it has all of your standard units. But if you need assistance getting that 4th hit out on your auto with Soldier 11, the shield will actually help you a lot. Plus it has the auto swap, which is pretty interesting to look at. And no, she's not Zhongli just because she has a shield, okay? That would be Ben because he has a pillar. Amen. And now we gotta talk about the big one, alright? The big one that shoots the fire everywhere. We're getting Jane Doe, but Fire Edition, it appears. I'm kidding, that's actually not the case. Instead, Burnice appears to be a very solid sub-DPS for fire units because of her output. Oh man, she does bonus damage for your teammates as long as they do fire damage, which is sick. She also builds Fire Anomaly very quickly, which is very good because if you build Fire Anomaly and you get burn off, you activate the passive of Inferno Metal very fast, meaning that your crit rate will always be very high, plus 28%, which is very nice, especially for someone like me, who Soldier 11 doesn't have the overcapped crit rate, but instead relies pretty heavily on this proc. Will she be a good replacement for the Soldier 11 team at the moment? I honestly believe that she will be a good substitute option if you don't want to use Lucy, especially if your cheer on bonus damage is not high enough, which is one big thing that I'm having issues with right now because I can't get good relics for her. So if that's your problem, then honestly I'd say that Burnice is a good option. Bonus fire damage on the field, constantly proccing burn is very good for Soldier 11 especially, who could lose out on a lot of damage, especially if your skill and ult don't actually crit. You can tell in the gameplay there are some moments that I will try and highlight where my non-crit is pretty detrimental, but if not, I'll just put it on a side-by-side. But overall, things are looking really solid for the game. I'm very excited to play the story because I haven't played it yet, but at the same time, I'm clearing content. I'm probably going to get to this Hollow Zero one, which I will talk about later because it is a bit of a questionable part of the game that I'm not really a big fan of. But we know that it will get fixed in the future to be more focused on characters running around instead of being in the TV. But now, let's talk actual long-term things, alright? This game is looking very slow, and I will admit that now, because 3 weeks per banner cycle is really long. It makes a lot of sense because there are not a lot of characters in the game, and it would be really nice because the current characters that they're releasing are very powerful. Look at Qingyi, for example. She's very strong, but I just refuse to get her because I have Andy. At the same time, we also are going to have people like Jane Doe, as well as Burnice, who is very cool. But at the same time, we don't know a lot about the Disorder/Anomaly fully committed playstyle yet. We do know that it's going to happen because we have a character named Seth upcoming, going to help you build up Anomaly a lot faster, as well as actually assisting your team with some other utility. Thank goodness all the defender characters are not going to be like Ben, because man, this guy is just, this guy makes me question a lot of things sometimes. But other than that, I wanted to talk about the internet level, as well as how this game will shake out once everyone reaches max. Because I'm pretty sure the highest level you can get right now is like 52, 53, which is enough to get you to Legendary Proxy, which is what you need to max out your characters. But at the same time, we still have a whole bunch of issues. We're not able to get multiple drops from our weekly Notorious Hunts, as well as a major Denny's shortage. Oh man, we are running out of Denny's. There are not enough in this game. And no, that's not just me because I didn't do exploration. Maybe it's because I didn't do enough exploration, but at the same time, I do think we need a little bit more. We also would really appreciate having more unique events, maybe character trials like they do in Genshin sometimes, but anything right now would work because I am not a big fan of doing a rhythm game for 2 minutes and that being the whole event. It's very fast, yes, very easy rewards, but at the same time it lacks a bit of creativity. Even something as simple as the Honkai Star Roll taking pictures of trash cans was a little bit more interesting than having to do a standard rhythm game. Dope soundtrack though. I will be using this later on, most likely. But that's besides the point. I kind of want to wrap this up a little bit faster. I rambled on quite a bit in this video. Good weapon coming for all DPS units. Qingyi is in existence, so you can get her if you want. Potential new teammate for Soldier 11 to be coming in the future, as Burnice White's existence could possibly shake everything up. Jane Doe will be soon, alright? I will roll for her, and if I don't get her, I may need to pull out the wallet, but it is okay. Also, thank you so much for watching the Jane Doe video. Holy, I did not expect this to happen, especially when I was out of the country. It is crazy to think that 2,000 something people actually watched something I made. It isn't just like a short form TikTok or anything like that. I really do appreciate it, and if there is other videos that you want me to make, specifically like combat and whatnot, I will be doing that. The next one will most likely be a Soldier 11 damage showcase for a bit, as well as theory crafting and probably going over like plans for an account, but that's kind of lame. I don't know. I'm gonna need some feedback on that. So if you did enjoy this, I appreciate you watching, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.